This is Last Call Fantasy Football Podcast on, I was going to say Monday. It's not Monday. It's Thursday. My mother's birthday, November 21st,
Oh, wow.
2024. I know. I texted her, happy birthday, Mom. You know what we're doing this weekend?
Should. What?
We're going on.
Something
I'll let you decide. We're going to a four-course.
Escape room.
No, not this time. A four-course dinner
Okay.
somewhere in Orlando. That is the Titanic.
Oh, the upside down Titanic?
No. It's like it does. It's not. Is there an upside down Titanic out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you talking about the Wonder House?
Yeah.
That's not. That's the Capitol building upside down. It's not the Titanic.
Something's upside down there.
Wonderworks. That was what it was called.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to. It's the Titanic reenactment. So
When
basically,
you get served your food, does somebody come up behind you?
It's-
Like that.
Well, okay. So it has like historically accurate, like it's a museum. It has like stuff from the Titanic there too. It's a museum, and then they have a whole dinner thing, and then so it's like there's people with like the real captain's names, so like they act the part, and then they do a reenactment of the night of the. So we'll see how it goes. But before that, we're doing. What did she say we were doing? I don't know. Spending the day in Orlando, but it's a happy Thursday. We have a football game tonight. We didn't get to record yesterday, but yeah, today's Thursday. The game starts in about an hour and 10 minutes. It is the Steelers and the Poo Browns.
Yep.
So
We thought they were back. They're not.
I know. Jameis,
Well,
you
I
know,
didn't think they're back this year, but
the second Jameis starts to do something where you're just like, yes, he
dude,
is.
if they
so
had, honestly, I could see the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He would be a pretty good fit on the Browns. Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
would be.
If they had him, they might be pretty good.
He would be worth the first overall pick going to the Browns for sure. Like there's 0% chance that it fails. He is accurate. He's the dog in the dog pound. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they'll get weapons too, right? Like they could make a splash trade.
They had Amari Cooper.
They could trade for Amari Cooper. He was available. Like the Bills just traded for him. The Browns could have Amari Cooper right now.
For sure.
And they've
Elijah
got Nick
Moore.
Chubb. They've got Nick Chubb, like top running back in the league. How are the Browns not great?
Yeah, they could have signed Kareem Hunt this year.
He was on the couch. He was available. All right, this bit's over. The Browns and the Steelers play tonight. I checked the weather earlier today. Obviously, when you guys watch this, the game will be over, and
Yeah, I'm hoping that you're wrong
it's 37 degrees. I mean, I can look it up right now.
because I have two parlays and both of them have Russell Wilson throwing for 200 yards, which he's only not done twice. But
So it's not looking good, bro. So currently it's 37 degrees, 80% humidity, and 25% chance right now. I'm looking at the little graph here, and
25 is not bad.
it goes up to 70% about 9 o'clock. So
That's not good.
that's not good. So maybe Russell Wilson
They
can
should
get a
cash
couple.
out.
Can you cash out right now?
I think so.
Dude, I mean, it's not looking good as far as weather goes tonight. So who knows? Maybe we'll come back to this episode and we'll come back tomorrow and all of our parlays
Circle away the
everything
cash
will
out.
be oof. Well, so we're gonna let it ride. Steelers Browns tonight. Do you want to touch too much on it because this is gonna air after the game's over? So. I don't think it's a super exciting game for fantasy. It's like I feel like it's pretty straightforward.
Start George Pickens. That's it.
You can start Najee.
Najee. I'd start Najee, George Pickens. I wouldn't start Russ. I wouldn't start Jameis.
Damn, so you're just like putting out hot takes. We could have just avoided it, but this is gonna air afterwards. so if
What?
you're saying like start Najee, or start George Pickens, start Najee. But this episode is going to air after the game's over, so now you will have voiced your opinion.
Oh, that's
And
true.
and you could just be flat out wrong. George Pickens could just be like,
Well, he could, but I would still start him.
even after the fact. Who knows? We can't see the future. Anyways, so there's a game tonight, but we have a jam-packed episode because we did miss the Wednesday show. So we have back on track today. It's a trap players, bet the house, tough calls, and our DFS. So, without further ado. Oh. You ever tried to open a can with your left hand? This
Christmas
felt
time.
wrong.
Got my Christmas sweater.
Why
I
would
got
you-
my cranberry White Claw.
We got to save that shit for Christmas time, bro.
It is Christmas time.
Oh, you're one of those, huh?
You set up your shit already, so I don't want to hear it.
Listen, the only reason I set up my shit already. Hold on. I'm going to sip then get into your ass.
Listen,
was not ready for that first sip.
It's 40-something degrees right now, so.
For you, maybe. Well, okay. It is colder here in Tampa. It was a cool day today. But no, the only reason we set it up was because
That's 54.
I said Mother's birthday this weekend. Thanksgiving's the following weekend. I'm coming up to see yo ass in Tallahassee. Then we have one final weekend. We leave for a cruise on Monday. So then if we don't set it up till we get back, it's already the middle of December. Then why are we setting up a Christmas tree now? So there you go. Bah humbug, bitch.
Do you still have like a little Bud Light twig tree?
I would.
I wish I could. I wish I was not lazy, because I would totally just put a picture of that up here.
That would be great. But
I'm too lazy to do that.
I don't think.
But if you guys want to see it, at Last Call Fantasy Football on Instagram, I'll post it on there.
we will show our true colors
I'll
and
put it on the story.
straight from
I'm
our
not gonna-
roots. I know.
I'm not gonna put it as an actual post, but I'll put it on the story. Just stay tuned. Just
Stay tuned.
every day, check on the story.
So let's get into this episode. Kick week 12 off. I know a lot of leagues have their this is the main or the final week for the trade deadlines, at least on the NFL fantasy app. We decided to collectively agree for gentleman's agreement for trades and not do a trade deadline because we've thought like, hey, there's still 3 weeks to playoffs. If someone wants to make a final push or needs to make a push, we don't want to penalize that. So, final trades are being put in. There's a few more weeks.
Kyle made one today.
Had a great trade today, in my opinion. I did. And Justin is claiming.
Yeah, it's a trade I almost made.
It's a trade that Justin is claiming he told me he was going to do.
I just want you to stop playing like you didn't steal that trade from me.
I did not. I promised the hand on the Bible. You
Okay.
were nowhere
If
in
you
my
didn't-
mind.
If you didn't straight up steal it, you at least knew that I was making that trade. Looking to make that exact trade.
I 100% did not think about that when I did. It wasn't until you said, I was doing that trade. I'm like, what are you even talking about? I had to try to think back and remember you telling me about that. I
And you
swear to
remembered?
God. I did, because you
It
said.
was Monday before the show. We were talking in the chat room. And I was like, I'm going to trade Jamar Chase for Montgomery and Mike Evans.
And I remembered you said it was Jamar Chase. But
You know what fucking sucks is that he liked my trade more. And he would have done it, I think, over your trade. I was waiting on Timmy to decline a trade that I had with him. I had Rico Dowdle and Jamar for James Conner and Amon-Ra.
why would he do
And
that?
he did.
Okay.
He declined it like right before you accepted that trade. So I was about to go in and fucking put the trade up. That's why I was so heated in the moment, because I was like, dude.
Let me
I was
lay
about
the
to do that.
groundwork. So most likely this will be my final trade of the year. I like my team where it sits at now. So I traded Tyreek Hill, Tua
Bench
Tagovailoa,
Bench player.
and Brian Robinson Jr. for Mike
Not your
Evans
bench player.
and David Montgomery and Geno Smith because I was like I need a quarterback. So switch me Tua for Geno.
I don't know what Gio was thinking.
He's a Dolphins fan. He wants Tua and Tyreek. I don't know.
Yeah, but like he gave you probably the better wide receiver. He gave you the better running back. And what quarterback did you get back?
I got Geno.
Okay, I'd say that's about even, but
Yeah, but I mean, he asked me on Monday who to get, like, how can he get Tua, and I was like, bro, you don't have anyone like straight up one for one that I would want off you, especially because I need a decent backup. And so he was like, I was like, the only player of yours I even really want is Montgomery. And he was like, well, you can. He's not going to do Tua for Montgomery, obviously.
yeah.
And so I was like, well, put a combo together and let me know. And I was thinking
He
about
made that combo?
no, I did because remember Gio was asking if someone canceled a trade? It was me. I did this exact
That's funny.
trade.
I figured that he thought it was me
No,
because
no,
right before you sent that, I was like Snapchatting him about the trade.
Oh, no, it was me. And I did Tyreek. I think it was even Brees Hall too. I don't. It was a lot. I mean, that's why then I canceled it. But anyways, so promise, hand on the Bible. It wasn't like I was trying to stop you from getting it.
It's fine.
I
Honestly,
knew,
even if you did it with ill intent, I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at you. It's respectable. But it's a scumbag move if you did it on purpose.
No, I did not do it on purpose. And I showed you the receipts. Gio texted me on Monday, and I know for a fact I was at work when he texted me that. So this was before our conversation. So I just happened to really like Montgomery. And
it's funny that our heads were like, I literally tried to trade for the exact same players.
Well, so
I mean, Montgomery has a tough schedule coming up, but
it's not that
he's
bad.
pretty foolproof.
It's not that bad. It's not terrible.
He's got to play the Bears twice, which is like,
I don't care.
But Mike Evans has one of the best.
And I am scared for Tyreek Hill's upside now. And
yeah, dude.
But I mean, Tyreek Hill is
best case scenario for you. You needed to get rid of him.
I was trying to get rid of him. So this was
He's a trap player.
Yes.
Because you're never going to bench Tyreek Hill. Or you did last week, but like most people wouldn't.
I did, and it was the wrong decision. It ended up being. But anyways.
But only because he scored a touchdown. Like that's the thing is like if he doesn't score a touchdown right now, he's not having a good week at all.
I know. And so I was trying to get out of Tyreek Hill, but also I wasn't willing to like trade Tyreek Hill for, I don't know, like, not that it wouldn't be the better trade, but like say trade Tyreek Hill for Juwan Jennings. I feel like, yes, Juwan Jennings probably would be the better player going forward, but what I'm saying is the name vet, like you could get something for Tyreek Hill, and I was waiting for him. He just come off a good game, so I was like, maybe I can still get some. I wasn't willing to settle. Like that's my point on getting rid of Tyreek Hill. So I feel like Mike Evans coming back should be healthy. Good offense, like to chuck the ball down the field. Mike Evans was great before he got injured. And Brian Robinson, it sucks to have to let him go this week. I was really looking forward to having him play against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But Monty against Indy, I will take this week. So, anyways, trades, wrapping up. Just some insight into our league. I think it's fun to go through. We hadn't talked about it since it literally happened about 3 hours ago. But
yeah. All right, you want to get in the bet in the house?
Yeah, let's get it.
I'll knock it off or start off or jack it off, whatever.
I think you're looking for kick it off.
Everything but that. All right, my first one is I think the Eagles and Rams offenses struggle this week, and I think that the fantasy players on both of those teams are going to have a down week.
Okay.
I think that both these defenses are up and coming. The Eagles have actually been probably the best defense in the league over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and Rams got to be up there around like top 5. So, not that both offenses can't overcome that, but I mean these defenses are cooking. So,
yeah, the Rams are getting healthier. They're still not like shut down in the secondary. Yeah. But no, I do agree, and I am kind of scared of this, and I'll talk about it a little later. Um, but as for someone who has AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, I really, really hope you're wrong. But if you feel strongly about it, I hope not, because it's a
Yeah,
Sunday night football game. It could be,
it
there's
could
a
be
lot
a
of
phenomenal
there's a
game
lot of
too,
star
but
power out there, so it could be. I hope it's a good one, but we'll see. Um, so this one, I don't. I think you're gonna agree with me. Um, I was kind of hoping we would do this right before. Anyways, so my first bet the house is bet the house that the Chargers beat the Ravens on Monday Night Football at home. And Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Will Disley, and Herbert combined for 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Minimum.
oh no. So what you're telling me is I should bench Jade Daniels
Yes.
against the Cowboys, which is one of the worst defenses. Never mind.
True.
Well, maybe we'll get into that.
No, well, it's just, I just think Justin Herbert, he is on a heater. The Baltimore secondary is a poo poo.
Would you actually start Herbert over Jaden Daniels though?
My only concern is, I mean, it didn't work out for me too well last week with the whole Jared Goff thing, but the Cowboys are shit in rush defense. They probably could just win the game running the ball.
Right, which Jaden Daniels does though.
Yeah, he hasn't recently, but I'm just saying,
That's true.
like, I, I don't know. They're very. If I had to bet the floor, I don't know, man. Justin Herbert and the Chargers are on fire. Like that's what I'm saying. I
Honestly,
really
it's
think.
been really tough. I'm like, do I just go ahead with Herbert now? Because like going into the season, I was really high on Herbert, and obviously he's in my
Hmm.
top 10 for the rest of the season. So it's like, I have had the opinion that he is probably one of the best quarterbacks,
Yeah,
but it's very hard for me to just let go of starting Jaden Daniels and move on with Herbert,
I know.
even though I think he's great.
Even though if you would have started Herbert the last 3 weeks over Daniels, you would have been better off with Herbert each of the last 3 weeks. So
Yeah, I would have almost won last week.
yeah. So
Yeah.
um, biggest thing, I think they beat Baltimore. I think Baltimore, one, the Steelers always have their number, but I think that when they played a tough defense like that, it was rough. They're on the road again, out in LA. I don't know. I think things get weird, and I think,
I agree with you. I think the Chargers win that game.
I mean, the Chargers they just beat
It's tough though because the
just beat the
Steelers
Bengals.
just beat them, and the Ravens are such a good team. It's hard to see them lose 2 games in a row.
I can see it. I think the Chargers are. I'm praying that they do lose for my Broncos' sake because
Also, John Harbaugh kind of owns Jim Harbaugh.
I forgot that's the Harbaugh battle. But
Yeah.
all right. But anyways, we could move on. We got a lot of show to do.
All right. My second one is Marvin Harrison finishes the top 10 wide receiver this week.
Against the
They play
Seahawks.
the Seahawks. Yep. That's their Seahawks versus division opponents always seem to be shootouts. Like I can't think of a game. I think it's just because the Cardinals or the Seahawks defense sucked the last
Yeah,
couple of years.
it started off great, and I was like, oh, they're a great defense again, and then they've kind of fizzled off a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so I could see it. I could see it being both ways. But Marvin Harrison, I mean, maybe after the bye, they really solidified things. They're all healthy, ready to finish the season strong. They're a playoff team right now. So
It just like I feel like he's a ticking time bomb for fantasy football.
yeah,
Like it's not that like he's going to hit. He's going to be the guy at some point. He's
yeah,
extremely talented. Like it's not. It's almost similar to Drake London, where you know Drake London is a good wide receiver.
yeah.
Um, so hopefully it comes at the end of this year, and we don't have to wait till next year.
Okay, yeah. I mean, top 10 for Marv. Um, I was gonna
He's
say,
also a guy I had in my top 10 going forward. So they have a really good strength schedule.
oh, I feel like I was missing something here. Oh, what did I do? Anyways, we'll move on. I remember I had some stats I was gonna bring up. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll bring it up myself because it's not on our doc today. But um, okay, I like it. Marv top 10 this week. So my second bet the house you're not gonna like, and you're gonna probably disagree with me, is that Brock Bowers doesn't finish as a top 10 tight end this week against Denver. The
That's
last
spicy. Top 10 to finish outside top 10 is hard to do.
so and I'll explain my reasoning. So obviously he had a fantastic game against Denver the first time. He had 19 fantasy points, including a 57-yard touchdown. So outside of that, he would be 7 for 40.
Which
Outside of
would probably
that,
put him in top 10.
40 yards. But see, here's okay. So I figured you'd say that as well. 40 yards might get it done for top 10. He is. I think this is the second time they played in 3 weeks. They played him 3 weeks ago. They know that Brock Bowers is the only thing they have, and they're down their top two running backs as well. They're not going to have to sell out against the run game. They are at home in Las Vegas, but I just don't see how the offense is good enough to move the ball down the field to make Brock Bowers a top 10 option. Maybe top 10 is a little spicy because it doesn't take much at tight end,
Yeah.
but I don't think he has a
The
good
issue
game.
is like I agree that the Broncos defense is probably top 3 in the league, but the issue is like in the passing game, the Broncos defense is good because of Pat Surtain.
We got great
Like he loves
linebackers.
okay, but like it doesn't matter what linebacker you have, you're not guarding Brock Bowers with your linebackers.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only area where the Raiders are going to be able to succeed.
Shit. If
They're
I
not going
if,
to succeed in the run game. They're not going to succeed with Jacoby Myers with Pat Surtain on them or Trey Tucker, whoever. So I mean, that's the only area they could succeed, and they're gonna move the ball to some extent. So that's my only pushback. That's like,
yeah, I could see maybe volume if he keeps getting like peppered and he catches 10
yeah.
balls and gets 60 yards on 10, but like I mean that'll be fine, but
Also, no running backs like on the goal line. They're probably looking for him.
I think it's in a normal team, I think no running backs for a week would be a positive for the passing options. I just don't think the Raiders are good enough. Like they need all the offensive help they can get to even move the ball.
I agree with that.
So I think it's a
Yeah,
negative as opposed to a positive. Normally, if they don't got running backs, I'm like, oh, they got to chuck the ball. They're gonna get
I think it's a negative for his upside, but I think for the touchdown
yeah.
thing,
And
it can help him.
obviously, he's I think probably the most talented tight end in the NFL, and he's a prime candidate. Like you're gonna start him. I'm just saying. I think versus
Oh
his
yeah.
last matchup against Denver, and just the way it's gonna shake out, and I think the way
I'll
the
say I'm
Raiders are
not
gonna
excited
play.
to start him this week.
So, but top ten's a pretty low bar,
Yeah.
especially when tight ends just usually suck. So even if he was 7 for 40,
Taysom
that'll
Hill's on
probably get
by.
right. Well, there is a lot of buys, so
Yeah.
he yeah. So what, like
If Kyle
six
Pitts
teams
on
on
by.
buy, so there's 26 teams playing. So he
I'll
would.
let you amend the line if you want.
Mm, I don't know. I feel like I should, but then I feel like that's a cop out. I feel like I should just like
Yeah, never
stand
mind.
on
I changed
business.
my mind. You can't change it, man. All right.
All right.
Well,
No, bet the house.
my okay. My third and final bet the house is Tyrone Tracy's going to have 100 yards from scrimmage this week. I
Ooh.
think they're starting Danny DeVito. They're
What?
starting Tommy DeVito. I think uh, Brian Daboll is a smart head coach. It hasn't worked out for him. I think the reason it hasn't worked out for him is because he's had Daniel Jones and he's had to be committed to him for whatever reason. Well, because they paid him a fuck ton of money. I think this week he's going to give all the workload to Tyron Tracy and just lean on him. I don't think that's going to work that well, which is why it's scrimmage yards, not rushing.
Yeah. Um, I saw he averages 19 opportunities a game
Mm,
in I forget how many weeks it was. Recently, he's averaging 19 opportunities a game. I mean, that's 5 yards a touch, but including passing and running. Like, and the Bucks defense is not to be, not to be scared of. So I think it's possible. The only
yeah.
thing my issue is I think the Bucks win this game handedly, so they might throw the ball quite a bit more
Yeah.
than. So like he might get his opportunities capped because they'll get down quick. Um, but he's been a hell of a waiver wire pickup, and to Justin's credit, um,
He
he
was my
called it
sleeper.
out. I was gonna say at the beginning of the year. So what is my computer doing? But yeah. So I don't hate it, to be honest. He almost made my DFS lineup, but
Yeah, we'll get into that
oh,
later.
spicy.
I really like my DFS lineup this week, which it's really hard this week with all the buys.
I I really like mine too. I made a couple changes last minute because
I just had to go with a lot of players that I don't typically go with because of the buys.
see, I was
A
gonna
lot of
say
the players that I usually pick, I didn't pick.
I felt like we were gonna have a lot of the same players again, but now you saying that, I'm hoping that is that's not the case. But anyways, we'll get to that. That's the final segment of the week or the show. So my final bet the house is very similar to what I did with Drake London last week. It is you will wish that you benched DK Metcalf this week against Arizona. So this is where I was going to get into when you were talking about the shootouts
Oh
between the
wow.
two. Get this. You're not going to believe this. DK Metcalf versus Arizona. Obviously, division opponents, NFC West. They play each other twice a year. DK's been in the league a long time. 9 games against Arizona. He averages 2.6 receptions, 27.2 yards, and point 0.2 touchdowns. In their first matchup this year against Arizona, he was one catch for 10 yards. That is the most atrocious average stat line through 9 games I have ever seen from a player who plays a
That's
team.
through 9 games.
That's
Wow.
9 games. He
Well,
averages
like
27 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns with a total of 292 yards through 9 games against them. I'm just saying, whatever it is, they seem to have his number.
why?
I I don't know. I was looking because I'm playing DK Metcalf this week, so I was looking into it, and I'm like, why has he has the greatest
I'd
highlight.
be
You know what
interested
his
to
best highlight
see
is against Arizona? It's that chase
the chase
down
down.
tackle on Buda Baker. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's 2 points.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see if it's because they suck against like the slot receivers.
I don't know. Regardless, that ain't changing. He still ain't a slot
Yeah.
receiver. So could that
Well,
game be
because
good
like,
and a lot of options be good? Sure, but for whatever reason, just this year he was 1 for
yeah,
10.
no, I mean, I'm just saying like that doesn't change my mind about it being a shootout. That just tells me that maybe they have his number. But
Yeah, I mean I don't know what it is, but
well, because out of 9 games, you can't tell me that one of those was in a shootout.
I don't know what the scores were during those. But I just saying that like averaging 27 yards and 2.6 receptions for DK
Yeah,
Metcalf, 9 games,
it's
like
crazy.
that's terrible. I thought the Lamar Jackson versus the Steelers numbers were atrocious comparing like their series
Yeah.
history, but that's terrible. So you'll wish you benched DK Metcalf this year. Bet on it. Hear that,
All
kid?
right.
Bet on it.
You've got some spicy takes, I feel like, this week. Although that's you got the stats to back you up there.
I'm
So
I'm gonna heat it. I'm telling you, I had time today. I had time.
that's why you're about to get fired. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Do you want to get into tough calls?
Sure. All right.
You're gonna start. I'll start.
Oh wait, yeah, you start.
All right. I've got George Pickens versus the Browns versus Juwan Jennings versus Green Bay. What's your
Um,
thoughts?
hold on. You start talking about them.
All right. I mean, personally, I'm starting Juwan Jennings in my league. I think that Juwan Jennings going forward is a must-start player. I think that he's the alpha receiver for an offense that typically does really well at the end of the season. And besides that, they're a fully loaded offense that has not fully clicked this year. And with Kyle Shanahan behind the helm, it's going to happen at some point this year. They're going to get it going. They're going to make a playoff push. So I'm really excited about Juwan Jennings the rest of the year. And I would go Juwan Jennings, although I think Pickens should have a good week.
All right, I'm back. Ooh. Oh man, my
Stop picking Juwan Jennings.
Yeah. So, Juwan Jennings or George Pickens, that was the call, right?
Yep.
So George Pickens tonight. Yeah. I mean, clearly, it's too late to make that call just now. If you're watching this, the game's already happened. But yeah, Juwan Jennings, especially with the weather, it's easy Juwan Jennings for me. He's been unreal, and it's really unfortunate as a Debo manager because I hope he would like burn in a fire pit somewhere. But
yeah,
it's all right. But yeah, easy Juwan Jennings.
It doesn't take away from Debo's production. I don't know what's happening with Debo. Because there's been plenty of years. Ayuk and Debo were not taking opportunity away from each other. It was actually better when they were on the field, similar to T. Higgins and Chase.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand it. Debo's just not been good. I mean, I traded Amari Cooper for Debo straight up, and it seems like
I don't think a lot of people realize Juwan Jennings has been on this team for like 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah, no, he's been there. He's not like a new player. Yeah,
he's like damn near probably 30 years old. I bet.
I don't know if he's that old, but it's close. Actually, well, I guess because you know what? Let's see. How old is Juwan Jennings? He is 27. So not a spring chicken in the NFL by any means, but
maybe I'm thinking of Greg Jennings.
Well, Greg Jennings is damn near 50, so
no,
he's probably like 38. He's probably like 38 years old. Actually, I need to know now. No, Greg Jennings is the Packers receiver.
Oh, well.
Okay, he's 41. He's 41 years old, Greg Jennings.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think he was.
What about Brandon Jennings?
Jennings.
I know. Hold on. Now we need to know who Brandon Jennings is. Brandon Jennings. Well, now I'm getting a basketball player. Hold on.
No, Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs. All right. We're off to a great. Okay. I say we're off to a great start, but we're already 30 minutes in. So. All right.
What's your pick?
Juwan Jennings, 100%.
All right. Go ahead with yours.
All right. So now my first tough call, and these are two players you probably don't have both of them on your team, and it's not like it's a bench situation, but I want to know if you had to pick, say, even for DFS or something, Derrick Henry against the Chargers or Jonathan Taylor versus the Lions. Because that sucks. Because the Chargers defense, I told you, on fire. The Lions have just dominated running backs, and these are two elite tier running backs. Who has the better finish this week?
I think Jonathan Taylor has a better shot at being productive, just because I think Jonathan Taylor is more matchup proof of a running back. He's still young, still explosive. Derrick Henry needs opportunities. So if they do get down that game and Justin Herbert throws for 300, Justice Hill's going on the field.
Yeah, 100%.
No one's coming on the field for Jonathan Taylor. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody's touching the rock unless Jonathan Taylor's hurt. So, and I could see that game being nasty, the Lions game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being very low scoring. Both teams running the ball 30 times. So, I'll go Jonathan Taylor there.
It's just so tough because.
Although if this is a decision for you, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, you're starting both of them, but you're probably just looking at your matchup being like, God damn it, it's like, really? So I'm going to take Derrick Henry for one reason. I think they're both going to have bad games. Now, like, they're going to have for their standard, they're going to have bad games.
Sure.
I think Derrick Henry is way more likely to get a touchdown than Jonathan Taylor is, only because the
Yes.
goal line opportunity. And you see Derrick Henry's good for a 1 yard touchdown every single week. So
Yeah.
like if Derrick Henry is 18 for 62 and a touchdown, I could see that. And Jonathan Taylor could be, 21 for 75 and no scores with 30 yards receiving, something like
I do
that.
agree with that.
So I think Derrick
I do want
Henry
to
is
say I've heard this on other podcasts, and it's actually just not true when you look at the statistics. Jonathan Taylor actually has had more receiving yards with Anthony Richardson than Joe Flacco.
really.
Anthony
I
Richardson
haven't
actually
looked at
checks
it,
it
but
down more than Joe Flacco did to Jonathan Taylor.
I'd be curious to see exactly what those numbers are.
It was like the first 3 weeks he was averaging like 25 receiving yards.
Hmm.
And then when Joe Flacco went down, so
it's good thing to point out because I know it's
yeah,
probably a deterrent for Jonathan Taylor managers. But I'm gonna go Derrick Henry on this one because, like I said, I just think he has a better shot at a touchdown. That's really about it. I think Jonathan Taylor,
I agree with that
yardage
point.
wise, might be a better
I just
play.
uh, I'm saying I'd rather start Jonathan Taylor because I think that he still has it in him, even against a really good defense, to break one off.
And against this elite Lions defensive front, Kenneth Walker had a 30-point game. He had
Yeah.
three. I mean, he had three
Well,
touchdowns.
yeah, that's also a good point. Earlier in the season, I mentioned that there was quite a few players who have had good finishes against the Lions as well.
I feel like maybe the elite ones can make something out of it, but the
Yeah.
average Joes are gonna get stuffed. So, all right, hit me with your number 2. Who's the tough call?
All right, I got. We're bringing Ramondre Stevenson back onto the tough calls. So Ramondre versus Miami, or McConkey versus Baltimore. This would be a flex decision.
I hate when you do these like receiver running back ones.
What's a
McConkey or
flex? They're flex
Ramondre?
players, so
McConkey. I told you.
yeah. Well, okay, yeah.
Not that Ramondre is going to have a bad game. I think he actually is going to have a pretty decent game because I think that game against the Dolphins is going to be a hell of a lot closer than what people think. I actually think the Patriots might
I agree.
actually win.
I think both of them could easily have some good games. I think that Ramondre's got the higher floor by a lot.
Yeah, 100%. I
I
mean,
think
just running
Ramondre's
backs
getting
too.
8 to 10 points this week,
Right.
and McConkey's getting it together. And when they had that 2-minute drill last week against the Bengals,
Oh, yeah.
McConkey was the dude. So I'm curious to see like that happens. Like there was a game, Devontae Adams breakout, where it was a 2-minute drill, and for whatever reason, it just happened to click at that moment. Devontae Adams was supposed to be a bust, but Aaron Rodgers connected with Devontae Adams, and they marched down the field and dominated. And then from that point on, they had that connection, and Devontae Adams was a beast. That could have happened. That could be a reality now.
I mean, McConkey, since week 8, he had 111-2, then 64-52, and then last week 123. Like he is super involved in the offense. 23.8% target
The
share.
issue, honestly, the only issue with McConkey, and honestly that entire offense, is their dedication to giving J.K. Dobbins the rock in the red zone.
Yeah. So they're going to be they're the opposite of what I want for a receiver. Like if you're going to be like a cornerstone piece, like I want a team like the Bills, like the Chiefs, like the Cowboys of last year. They throw the ball.
Chiefs last year too,
But I'm saying they throw the ball in the red zone like crazy and throw the ball
yeah.
inside the 5-yard line. Like that's who I want, and he's just not that type of player. Not to be said that he's not going to be. I mean, I'm picking him in this scenario just for upside alone. Because I mean, Ramondre? Last week was 20 for 75.
He had like, yeah, I think that was 2 weeks ago, but he wasn't great. It was like 8 points.
Let's
Be like
see.
80 yards.
I'm curious what Ramondre has. I'll pull it up, but Oh yeah. So he
I
had 73 rushing yards, 16 receiving. In the prior week, had 74 rushing, 3 receiving
I'm going
against.
Ramondre because I think if he gets in the end zone, which is more likely than McConkey, he's got that baseline of 73 yards and he's got 13 points.
Yeah,
So I'm
you
going to
might
go
be,
Ramondre.
logistically and more safely. I would say it's probably a safer bet on Ramondre, but I got a conviction about this Chargers team this week. So,
Yeah.
all right, my second tough call. And this guy pops up every single week, and I feel like he is a tough call because you just have to deal with him being like on fire and then ice cold. It's Zay Flowers against the Chargers, so again, or Calvin Ridley against the Texans. Both great passing defenses. Um, Zay Flowers has been hot and cold. Calvin Ridley's kind of been on fire, but I think a more
Yardage wise, he's
unstable.
been on fire.
I just think he's in a more unstable situation with
Mm.
the Titans. You don't know what team is going to come out there each week, right? Because you got Zay Flower or Calvin Ridley in your starting lineup currently.
Yeah, I've got no choice. Not that I'm like upset about starting him. I think I would go Calvin Ridley here because who's he playing again?
The Texans.
Texans. That's the only thing that sucks.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have Derek Stingley on him. He's been pretty damn good. But I don't think he's like a shadow cornerback by any means. So I'm gonna go Calvin Ridley.
Okay. Um, I
I
see
think his
them.
upside is wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Zay
I see
Flowers,
them very similarly.
there's very similar players this season, but Calvin Ridley's on the heater and Zay Flowers is on the cooldown. So go Calvin Ridley there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Calvin Ridley as well. I just because I think Calvin Ridley's floor is actually much higher.
I think he's a better wide receiver, to be honest.
It might be. I don't know. I think Zay Flowers is great. I think both these players are great. It's just their situations are just so infuriating. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
So, all right, hit me with your last one. Let's move this joker along.
All right. I think this might be the first time we have a quarterback tough call. You might have done one last week. Anyways,
I don't know.
I've got Patrick Mahomes at Carolina or Baker Mayfield at the New York Giants.
Baker.
This is somebody is starting in our league, Patrick Mahomes over Baker currently right now.
It's easy to start Mahomes
And
against the worst
he
defense.
is a Muppet.
He is a Muppet. It's easy to start Kermit against the worst team in football because
No, I was talking about Gonzo.
well, they're both Muppets. No wonder he likes Patrick Mahomes so much. We got Gonzo and Kermit. That's hilarious. Yeah. I'm gonna call him that tomorrow. So, it's easy to start Mahomes against the worst defense in football. Mahomes is he don't have it no more. He don't have the upside.
Yeah.
And Baker does.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. He has it, but
the team and the way they're playing football, correct?
Yes.
Put Tyreek Hill and
also Pacheco comes back this week, and now they have 2 running backs that can get it done. So I think their running game is going to get only stronger from here on out because Kareem Hunt was already getting it done for them.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have 2 running backs that can get it done. So
100%.
Kind of scary. They could be looking like a budget value Lions.
Blech, gross. Hate that team. Hate the Chiefs. God damn, I hate the Chiefs. All right, so yeah, I'm going Baker.
I'm going Baker Mayfield.
All right, my last one, and then let's keep this train moving. This is where I was going to get into more about the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison, so clearly you're probably going to take that route. Marvin Harrison against the Seahawks this week, or Courtland Sutton against the Raiders.
It's funny you say that.
Why?
I'll tell you later.
Funny. All right, so let me just break it because I saw some crazy stats. So since week 6, Courtland Sutton is the wide receiver 8 on the year.
Yeah, he's been great.
And since since week 6 and excluding last week because Marvin Harrison was on bye, Marvin Harrison is a wide receiver 30. So you could have, and that stretch run for Cortland Sutton includes the week where he had 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 points. So if you take that out, he's been a top 5 option each week. So
Yeah.
that's just the ground. That's the groundwork to this question.
Yeah, he's been
Bo Nix on fire.
He's been similar to like Calvin Ridley this year, where it's like he doesn't put it all together in one game. Either he has 40 yards and a touchdown, or he has 113 and no touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like
I will say, Cortland Sutton has not scored a lot of touchdowns. It's been the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Of what he was last year.
He's had like 4 touchdowns.
And we're going into week 12. So he has three touchdowns on the year.
Yeah,
and
it's
his last 4 receiving games. So he was since week 8. Okay, well no, so this is since week 6.
I would say this
53-1.
This matchup comes down to who, like, do you need upside or do you need safety this week for whatever position you're trying to fill, whether it's flex or wide receiver? Because if you need upside, I would take Marv. If you need safety, I would take Cortland Sutton because your baseline's probably 60 yards.
He's been 53-1 in week 6. Then he had the goose 0 against the Saints. Then 100 yards even against the Panthers, 122 and a passing touchdown against Baltimore for 20 fantasy points. Then 70-1 against Kansas City, and then 78 yards last week against Atlanta. So his lowest yardage in the last 1, 2, other than the 0, which clearly was the anomaly in this whole season.
I just want to say I feel betrayed right now. The computer I'm on is my girlfriend's, and it's an Apple computer, so I can see her text messages. And she's texting Christian right now.
No. No way, Dan. She said, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to your boy.
I texted her and she said, "What? You're busy." Like, I don't care. Okay.
You wait.
You come to your boyfriend about betting advice.
You will wait. Although
I've hit the most recent parlay, but Christian, I don't know how he does it, but he's up like $6,000, so I can't really blame him.
But anyway, so you're taking Marv?
Yeah.
I'm taking Marv, unfortunately.
All right.
I want to take Cortland Sutton, but I'm really hoping that it's just a Audric Estime and Javonte Williams slugfest this weekend against the Raiders as I'm playing Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. I was going to tell Caleb. Caleb's got Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, and Audric Estime. I was like, I didn't know you were a Broncos fan, bro, because this is great. Right. But
he's starting Audric Estime?
No. He's got him on the bench. Okay. But he's starting Cortland Sutton, so.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Well, we're back on track.
I was gonna say. So now we're into back on track players. Let's scoot this along too. Back on track. Yeah. I want to go first.
Okay, go first.
Granted, we didn't share these. Excuse me.
Okay, first.
we didn't share these, so we might have the same couple. But you know what? I don't think we do.
I doubt it.
But I'm gonna say mine first because I think this one is the main potential. This one is a layup.
A squirter.
Oh, you're still looking at the text? Anyways, moving on. Back on track. Guaranteed. Dookie of a game last week. 2 for 18 against Buffalo. But it's Travis Kelce playing the Panthers, who are god-awful against tight ends. This was the biggest layup. The biggest layup I saw. 2 for 18. He's been on fire. This is Mahomes. I took Baker Mayfield in this. But that don't mean
didn't he have a good week last week?
No, he was 2 for 18 against Buffalo. Okay. So he's getting back on track.
Yeah, fun on that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to go first because I felt like we might have had the same one. So easy back on track.
No, if I had known that he was bad last week, I would have picked him. But
yeah, you're not benching Travis Kelce ever. But
I almost made him one of my bet the house players, so I like it.
All right.
Mine's Jaden Daniels. Probably the worst week he's had so far. Other than like week 2 or something like that, but Jaden Daniels versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys suck dick, and Jaden Daniels doesn't. So that's all I need to say there.
Yeah, that everything you could possibly say around that sentiment just leads back to those two comments. Like that's it.
Right, right. Uh, you can say all the stats you want in the world, but Cowboys suck dick. Jaden Daniels doesn't. Okay?
Amen.
All I need to know.
They always will, too.
Yep.
All right. Guess who's back on track? Mr. Who just got back on track last week is Nico Collins. Nico Collins. He was only 4 for 57 against Dallas, which is, for someone who is, in my opinion, a top 6 alpha at the position moving forward throughout the rest of this season and moving forward, 5 for 40 or 4 for 57 is a disappointing line against the aforementioned shitty poo-poo butthole Cowboys.
Yeah.
He had a huge touchdown called back on the first play of the game last week.
That
looked great. I'm sure everyone who has him was praying he just didn't re-aggravate that hamstring injury as he sprinted 79 yards down the field.
He looked great. I don't know why he didn't have a better game.
I think, you know how? You know why he didn't? 2 words. Joe Mixon. Had over 100 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns. It's hard to... And the Cowboys were actually in the game for the most part. So, like, their defense wasn't getting dumped on in the passing game, for what it's worth.
Yeah, it was like a weird game.
Yeah, it really was.
Weird, 'cause they weren't in it. They were never in it, but they were.
Right. They got, like, a couple lucky breaks and then got some points.
Like, you knew they were not winning that game.
100%.
But they...
It's like every Florida State game I've watched this year.
In the shadows. Yeah. Honestly.
But
no, I don't know about that, but...
Well, not every game. Like, clearly we were not in all those. But, anyways.
They pooped on our chest a couple times.
Maybe they're into that. I don't know. We don't know anymore.
All right. On that note, I've got Malik Neighbors versus Tampa.
I don't like you.
That's yours too?
No, it's not. I don't want that to happen. I'm going against Sutton. I'm going against Neighbors.
He's benched? I think he has Neighbors benched.
No, he's at flex right now.
Okay. Well, sorry for you. Tampa's defense sucks. And Tommy DeVito has put up some actually really good numbers.
Yeah, I don't care. You got lucky.
We'll see.
So I severely disagree with this. Was actually hoping he started Malik Neighbors because, yes, Tampa's defense is not that great. But 2, you're talking about a third-string quarterback who got thrust to start. He wasn't even the backup, not even getting second-team reps, in third-team reps. And he hibbity-hopped Drew Lock because the Giants have essentially started tank for Shedeur Sanders. And I just don't buy it. I don't think that he's gonna be fine. He's gonna probably have 10 targets. He might get 10 targets, 6 catches for 52 yards. That's my stat line prediction for Malik Neighbors. But you do you.
Well, okay. He only needs 10 points to get back on track, and I think he'll have that.
10 points. That's in standard scoring. That's 100 yards. You think he can get to 100 yards?
40 and a touchdown.
I don't think they will score many touchdowns.
They're going to score a couple touchdowns. The Giants aren't that bad. They're going to move the ball. Tyron Tracy, like I said, they're going to get some opportunities.
All right, he's in on the Giants.
Tampa Bay's defense might be the worst defense in the league.
You heard it here first. Justin likes the Giants.
Baker Mayfield is in the MVP conversation, and they are 5-6. That means their defense is absolute poo-poo doo-doo caca.
I'm just saying, you can enjoy the Giants all you want. I will let you.
Just saying.
I will let you put your foot down for the Giants. I refuse to do so. So you heard it here first. Justin, the Giants fan, this week.
Hey, I don't mind the Giants. All right.
All right. Who's back on track?
I used to be an Eli Manning fan.
Yeah, I liked when they beat the hell out of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Fuck with Odell and Eli, bro.
I loved me some Victor Cruz and some
Brandon Jacobs. Jennings? Jacobs?
No, Jacobs.
Jennings?
No,
Jennings?
but you know who was
Jennings? Jacobs?
You want to shut up? I'm talking here. Tommy Cutlets.
I'm just excited to see that guy back out there.
Oh, the agent! You know the agent has to like come out in top the uniform,
Oh yeah,
the outfit he
he's
had
gonna
last
come out
time.
with a fucking Monopoly monocle.
He's gonna have like bruised knuckles just to like make everyone know that he means business. Um.
Yeah.
Anyways, remember Ahmad Bradshaw?
No.
I was just thinking about old Giants
I think he
players. But
spent
no.
some time in the Colts as well.
Who was it? It was Victor Cruz and there was another receiver. It was tandem. I want to say Sterling Shepard, but it wasn't. It was.
No, it wasn't Sterling Shepard.
No, I know. He was like supposed to replace them. It was Victor Cruz, and
Well, the guy that made the helmet catch.
who was it? Victor Cruz. No, well, yes, David Tyree.
Kenny Galladay.
No, it's David Tyree. Oh no. I need to
Dude,
know
what
who it
the
is.
fuck happened to Kenny Galladay? That was terrible.
Oh, what was his name? Oh,
Dude, who gives a fuck? Let's go.
I need to figure it out. We'll figure it out later.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, my final back on track player is AJ Brown.
Make a trivia question for the Instagram.
Is AJ Brown? You said it's going to be a defensive slugfest
Oh,
Sunday
shit.
night.
Okay.
AJ Brown was only 5 for 63, and if you watch the game, which obviously I did very closely last Thursday, half of his yardage came on 2 receptions on the first drive. He had he had 3.2 points for my team on the first drive.
Is that a good thing?
No, it's bad. Well, I'm saying he didn't have a good game, and it was rough against Washington that night. So he will get back on track because he's better than that. Like the rest of the game, have 30 yards through 3.5 quarters of football. I hope it's right for my sake, but I said LA's secondary isn't something to be super terrified of. They're better than what they were. But
I will say this.
They also might be missing Devontae Smith this week with a hamstring injury. So I don't know if that's a positive or negative. I could see it go either way.
All right. I don't love that.
I know you don't, but
my back on track is George Pickens versus the Browns. That's my last one.
Well, we got 15 minutes till your dreams come true.
Yeah, obviously if it's raining, then I'm fucked. But I think that if it's not raining, I think that the Browns defense isn't super scary, and they're going to air it out until they don't need to anymore and then run with Najee. So I think Pickens should get back on track, and he's had some pretty crummy games lately.
Hakeem Nicks. That was his name.
Hakeem Nicks?
Yeah. Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks.
I know the name, but...
He had, that year they won the Super Bowl, he had 76 catches for 1,200 yards. Yeah, Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz. That was the ish right there. Mario Manningham.
Like that's a basketball player.
Mario Manningham. You remember that?
Are you sure Are you sure you're not talking about the New York Knicks?
I got the 2011 Giants roster pulled up. That's how I know. But if the weather is crap, I agree. I think George picked.
Yeah.
I think our parlays are.
I might be playing Call of Duty if the weather's crap.
Honestly. So. All right. Let's run through these trap players. Apologize for the ear rape, but
what the fuck are you drinking out of that, by the way?
Okay, I only had one beer left. So now we got whiskey ginger ale.
Oh, dude. Okay, so you're whatever the fuck beer pussy mug thing.
My koozie? You don't like my koozie?
Your koozie.
No free sponsors though.
Your coochie. It looks like that's what's in your glass.
Oh.
From my point of view.
Well,
I thought you had like a
laptop camera.
Like limeade, like lemonade or something.
No. It's just a koozie.
Okay. I thought you were drinking like lemonade or something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Hey man, it's a sober summer.
It's not summer.
Exactly. That's why. That's why it's not a sober drink in my cup. Oh, all right. So it's a trap. So trap players. They had a great week last week. Got some momentum rolling. Cut that shit out. It's a trap. I think
You're
this
not
is a
gonna
layup.
like my first two.
Well, I don't appreciate you as always. But my first one, I'm going for real trap players. You're just coming to stick knives in my heart. First one is Jordan Addison. He was 3 for 61 and a touchdown with 14.1 fantasy points this week. He had 3 catches. It was a 29-yard touchdown. Yes, he is a wide receiver on a football team. He can do
I feel
that.
like you're playing the game with that.
That's the whole point, bro.
No. Okay, but like you're playing the game there.
What do you mean? He had
Like
a
you
great
picked a
week.
player
Who's a
you picked a
first-round
player
receiver.
who had a great week who hasn't been good all season.
He's had 2 great games, but what I'm saying is this whole point is for players who had great weeks last week, who you say that performance is a fraud, it's a trap, don't follow it.
Okay, well, there's 2 points of views. Yes, I agree with that, but also another point of view is a player that is maybe a great player who has a hard matchup this week.
All right, fine. That's cool. They're all. I mean, you get bread any way you slice it. It's a trap player, someone you ain't going to want to start. So don't start Jordan Addison, especially because they play Chicago this week. So I'm out.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, my next one is
No, you're wrong.
my next one is AJ Brown
No,
versus the Rams.
it is not.
Because I think it's going to be a shitty game.
Let's
I think
do a
it's going to
bet.
be a slugfest.
Let's do a bet. Give me a line for AJ Brown that thinks that he's going to be a trap player.
He needs 70-1.
That's a trap? 70-1's a trap?
No, I'm saying that's what he needs to not be a trap.
That's what? That's 14 points. No, that's 15 points. That's a high bar.
It's not. It's 13, but
What do you? Oh, yeah.
7 plus 6 is 13.
Yeah, you're right.
I
I say,
but
if they score a touchdown, I say 10 points. 10 points is the bar for a trap.
okay, he's not getting that.
You don't think he's getting 10 points?
No, I think the only way he does get 10 points is with a touchdown.
Okay. That's cool, but you're saying he's a trap, so you think it's not possible. You get 10 points.
He's a trap.
I don't agree. I don't know how to say.
Obviously, because you're starting him.
Well, he's a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and
He hasn't been lately.
he has been. He just the worst game he had in the last stretch was last week. I mean, I will willingly do this bet. What is our stakes for this bet?
All right. If you want to bet, I'm doing 101. He needs 101.
101. That's bro.
You're so fucking confident. Let's go.
Bro, in our league, that's 18 points. 101 is 18
Yeah, but you
points.
think he's gonna go off, so let's go.
I said I don't think he's gonna go off. I said it has a potential. I said the defense is better than what it has been. But you're saying he's a trap player.
Okay. You want to know what he scored the last
Yes, he had 12.9
4
points
points?
last week. The 3.6, 8.4.
4 weeks? 4 weeks. 8, 3, 12, 6. So
Okay, but see,
pretty bad.
I don't even see like 84 yards as like.
He's had one
trap.
double-digit week, and that's because he had a touchdown.
Well, because you
The last
cherry
4
picked the last 4 weeks, not to neglect the weeks prior that are 16.9 and 19.9.
Okay. He also came off an injury.
Yes, and
So-
before that, he played 1 week and had 22 points. He followed the first 3 games of the season. So AJ Brown missed 4 weeks. Well, he had a bye, so he missed 3 games and a bye. His stat lines through the first 3 weeks: 22.9, 19.6, 16.9, then 8
I'm just saying,
serviceable.
we're talking about a
6.
player who was on pace last year to break Cooper Kupp's record.
Well, okay, he went on a freaking heater. He broke the NFL record for most
And
games.
now you're
of
talking about
100.
a player who's only eclipsed 100 yards 3 times this year.
He's only played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. That's nearly half the games. He clips 100 yards. And one of them was a
but
score.
you got to have the context of this is AJ Brown. Okay, like yeah, 101 is not great for, or it's a high bar for most wide receivers, not for AJ Brown.
But that's why I said you need to give me a line for this to be a trap. Because when we're talking, that's like saying Derrick Henry's a trap this week.
Okay, 71.
I will gladly start a trap of 71. That's what I'm saying. That's something I will. You say I'll give you 70 yards and a touchdown right now. Are you gonna take it? Yes.
You're right. I would take that.
That's what I'm saying. So you need to give me a line that you really think that he will be a trap. It's a trap. You're going to wish you didn't step on that
He's
trap.
gonna have less 10 points.
All right, then I got
Where's
it
my
here.
gavel?
All right, I got it right here in bold print. We ain't getting rid of that one. So I will see you on Monday, bitch.
Less than 10 yards.
All right.
You're gonna be crying when you lose to Caleb.
Oh, less than 10 yards? Okay, I'll update that one.
I said less than 10 points.
All right, dickhead. My turn. My second trap player.
Your turn.
Yeah. So this one again, you might be tempted, but guess what? It's a trap. Jerry Jeudy tonight.
Okay.
Last week he went 6 for 142 and 1. However, that included the longest touchdown pass of Jameis Winston's career at an 89-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy sucks.
There is no clear number one there. And there's bad weather tonight.
I gotta say,
So
I don't know where your balls went. It's cold outside. Maybe your balls shriveled up inside of you.
listen here.
This is some horse shit.
Listen
Jordan
here.
Addison and Jerry Jeudy.
Dude.
They're trap players.
This-
No one's fucking starting them.
Yes, they are. This is a cold world out here. And there's 100% people. Jordan Addison, maybe less so. Jerry Jeudy, yeah, because he's actually been pretty good recently.
Nobody's starting them with the expectation of them going off.
But I'm saying he's going to have a stinker game.
So how is that a trap? If they know, like, yeah, he could have 0 points.
Less than 6 points is a trap. That's my bar. Less than 6 points for a trap. I'll give you 10 because it's a top 5 player like AJ Brown. But
Less than 10 points is a trap for anybody.
if we're
I'm
talking
not trying to
standard
start anybody.
scoring,
Dude, you have 10 players. That means that your 10 points is 100 points in a week.
yeah, but you're also starting the quarterback, so that's higher, and we're also in standard scoring, so our scores are lower. But Jerry Jeudy, since Jameis Winston's been the starter, is 79 yards, 73, a bye, 142 and 1. You cannot tell me there's not leagues out there. People have seen Jerry Jeudy take a step forward. That's what I'm saying. This week, tonight, against Pittsburgh, it is a trap.
I agree with you.
So how can you say I'm
I didn't say I didn't agree with you. I think that's a good trap play. I just think your balls are fucking in your dick.
This is not the fantasy
You're
football
about to
hot
piss out
takes.
your balls today.
This is not the fantasy football hot takes podcast where all we do is just spout hot takes.
That's all I do.
Yeah. No wonder your team's shit. All right. Anyways, finish this out.
Well, I've got 2 more. You know what? Let's just fucking list them off.
All right, go ahead.
I got Cortland Sutton versus Las Vegas and DeAndre Swift versus Minnesota.
Cortland Sutton, so one of my tough calls players, and DeAndre Swift against Minnesota. Yeah, I mean DeAndre Swift for sure. I think he's in for a very,
Cortland
very bad
Sutton
game.
is a trap player because he's been so good lately, and he's going. I don't know exactly what the stat is for the Raiders against wide receivers, but against quarterbacks, they're top 5.
In our league, the Raiders are number 7 against wide receivers. They've been decent. And I will say a point in your favor is Javonte Williams had his best game of the season against the Raiders. Their run defense is not as good, but Bo Nix has been living off throwing the ball. And I could see it happening again. And, yeah, DeAndre Swift missed practice today. And Minnesota's elite on run defense, so I agree. So, bueno. All right. Now, this final trap you're going to agree with. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Both of them.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I know. I'm aware. And both last week combined for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, but let me say this. If you're going to say
What?
that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are trap players, then you have to agree that A.J. Brown is, because if the
Those players
Rams
play
aren't
on two different teams.
if the Rams aren't putting up points with Puka and Cooper Kupp, that means they're not scoring points. If they're not scoring points, Saquon is going to run the ball 50,000 times.
Okay.
And A.J. Brown's going to be relevant.
And that thought process is what screwed me over, thinking that Jared Goff was going to have a stinker because they were going to run up the score with just a run game. Listen, they play on two different teams, mind you, and their defenses they're playing are completely different. Philly's defense is elite. You said it yourself. They're playing Philly. A.J. Brown gets to go up against the mediocre.
Listen,
they're
the
not going
Lions
to
have Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is probably on fucking bath salts when he's coaching.
This is not a Lions conversation. This is these two teams.
I'm saying that if fucking what's his name?
Who?
What's the coach of the Eagles? Forgot his name.
Sirianni.
If Nick Sirianni goes up, he's going to protect the lead. He is not high testosterone as Dan Campbell. He's not on bath salts while he's coaching, and he's not going to cry if they lose. Okay? So they're not going to run up the score like they did. I don't know what was going on in that Lions game.
Yeah,
they're going to protect the lead. They have Saquon Barkley. They're going to run with Saquon and just run out the clock. That's my opinion.
I just don't think that both of those things have to be true. That A.J. Brown
They don't have to be.
has to have a...
A.J. Brown could get his, just like I said, Amon-Ra would, before they run up the score.
But you said it's going to be a defensive battle on both sides. So, but what I'm saying is you don't have to take away from one team because the other team's not doing well. See what I'm saying? If it's going to be a defensive battle, I think...
Call me fucking Krampus, bitch.
You just communist ass bitch. You just taking shit from everybody. If you can't have it, you can't have it neither. Anyways, I'm willing to die on that. So let's finish this out. So that's our trap players. We got a football game to watch.
Stop to get DFS. Holy shit.
Yeah, but DFS is our quickest lineup or our quickest set here. So,
right.
All right. Remember at the same time.
You remember?
You remember?
I remember.
All right. Starting at quarterback. Our weekly DFS lineup. Ready?
Oh, fuck. Okay. I remember the drill now.
Yes.
All right, ready?
As I just explained.
Dude, these things hit hard. I'm kind of fucked up. Dude. Oh, I haven't eaten dinner yet either, but.
Oh, jeez.
I'm a little buzzed.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go get some dinner. All right. Quarterback. 3, 2, 1. Justin Herbert. See, I fucking knew it.
7,400.
Yeah, 7,400. Running back number 1. I mean, easy. Right. We talked about it at length. Running back. 3, 2, 1. Brian Robinson Jr.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't
Kenneth Walker, 8,100.
Okay.
Spend up on him.
Brian Robinson Jr., 7,900. Against the Cowboys. We talked about it. I traded him away, and I was excited to play him. 7,900 for a top-end option, a possibility, I believe. I'm in. All right. RB2. 3, 2, 1. Kareem Hunt.
Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I had Kareem Hunt in. That's funny.
I know. Well, I figured you had Tyrone Tracy in your lineup, but
6,700 for Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt just gonna.
Kareem Hunt was cheap. He was 6,500, I believe, because
Kareem Hunt 7,400.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Pacheco plays, so if there was any discount, I was gonna take it. So.
Yeah.
All right, wide receiver 1. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Lad McConkey.
A.J. Brown.
Bro, there's no way you picked A.J. Brown at his 9,000. Bro, you actually pissing me off with that one because I just wasted like 30 minutes of my life fighting with you on A.J. Brown, all for you to just spend $9,000 in your lineup.
No, he's 8,500.
Okay. It's like what? Wide receiver 6?
Listen, bro. Listen. My takes don't have to follow what my DFS does.
Well,
the DFS is by money. Look, I have to make a roster by money, okay?
Oh, God, I had to spend on the 6th most expensive wide receiver in the lineup.
It's a trap is a segment where you're saying it could be a trap.
Oh,
Okay.
nah. You didn't let me stand 10 toes down. Now you
All
wish
right.
you what. Anyways, so now it's just making it worse because now I know I'm right, and now you get to
Wait,
benefit
who'd you
off me
say?
being right. See, you didn't even hear me because you're dumb as hell. Lad McConkey.
Oh, okay.
Lad McConkey for 6,500, not your 8,400.
Yeah.
God, my heart rate. That actually made my heart rate increase.
I knew it would. Okay.
Wide receiver 2. Ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1. Calvin Ridley.
Lab McConkey.
Nah, bro. You're actually joking. I'm tired of doing this shit with you
Holy
because
shit.
I'm tired of having the same
so
players,
funny.
and basically our lineup becomes 4 players versus 4.
Get out of my fucking head.
You're nah. Anyways, okay, fine.
Who'd you say I can't?
Calvin Ridley.
I thought that's what you said.
Calvin Ridley against Houston,
Well,
6,300.
you're not gonna like my next player.
I swear to God. Wide receiver, 3, 2, 1. Quentin
Marvin
Johnson. Okay. I don't have
Wow,
Marv.
you doubled down on the Chargers.
Oh, I doubled
If
down.
the Chargers suck, you're fucked.
Yeah, but I doubled down. I'm telling you, I
You
303.
tripled down.
I tripled down. Quentin
You
Johnson.
got Will Disley?
I did, and I changed it last second.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He was 5,200. It was great. Anyways, yeah, Quentin
I was
Johnson 6,100. So, all right, tight end
7,200 Marv.
3, 2. Ooh.
I think we have the same tight end.
All right, tight end 3, 2, 1. Hunter
Johnson.
Henry.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. All right.
Hunter Henry 5,200. How much was Jonnu?
56.
Okay, yeah, I saved $400. All right, final player, flex. 3, 2,
All right.
1. Kenneth
Ridley.
Walker.
God damn it, dude. We both fucked each other with that one, huh?
I wanted to be.
Dude, you know what's funny is it's the same player that I put my flex a couple weeks ago, and you're like, "What? You got him in your flex?"
I know. Well, I wanted to mess with you and put Kenneth Walker in my RB1 all the way down to my flex.
That's funny because I was as you're listing off your wide receivers, I'm like, "Where's all his money?"
Yeah, it's Kenneth Walker.
Because I was like, his wide receivers aren't expensive, his running backs aren't expensive. That makes sense.
I feel like your team has been more expensive so far. So let's finish it out with the defense. Ready?
All right,
3, 2, 1. Kansas
Cardinals.
City. Oh, see? So I did have some extra money. So I got Kansas City against Carolina. So I think
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I also had like middle of the pack. I didn't have like a top 10 defense, but
I don't remember how I had it before, but I had originally the Texans defense against Tennessee, but it was only 200 extra for the Kansas City Chiefs against the Panthers. I was like, well, Levis like has potential to put up points, and I had Calvin Ridley, so I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, I don't want to like, go against my defense. So I made the switch, but yeah.
All right, so we had Calvin Ridley, McConkey, and Kenneth Walker, and Herbert. It's 4 players the same.
I'm just really shocked you didn't take Brian Robinson.
He was close. I think it was between like him and Tracy.
Okay, so it's not as bad. Kenneth Walker, Lad McConkey, Calvin Ridley. No, and Justin Herbert. We got 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
It's about the
6,
same as
7,
last
8,
week.
9. 4 out of 9,
Which
bro.
is funny because it only started last week where we got matched. Like all season we've been doing this, and we've had like very completely different teams up until last week. And now the last 2 weeks we've been on the exact same page. So I don't know if it's bye weeks or what, but
So frustrating.
yeah.
So essentially our matchup is Brian Robinson, Kareem Hunt, Quentin Johnson, Hunter Henry, and Kansas City's defense versus, what'd you say, George Pickens?
Tyrone Tracy, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Johnny Smith, and the Cardinals.
So let's just compare there real quick. Like how did you?
I like mine.
Yeah, because you got AJ Brown.
I told you I like my lineup this week.
Who was cheap for you to where you were able to get AJ Brown
Dude,
and
Johnny-
Kenneth Walker?
Johnny was way down there.
Oh,
Still, like
Tyrone Tracy. How much?
5,600.
How much was Tracy?
Oh, he was 6,700.
Okay, so
McConkey was cheap too, obviously.
because Brian Robinson was 7,900.
Well,
So
fuck, Ridley was only 6,300 too. So like,
well, but we had the
save money
same.
there.
No, we had
Oh
the
yeah.
same. But I'm saying Brian Robinson versus Tyrone Tracy. That's a $1,200
Yeah.
difference. So that's
That's where it
so
comes
that's
from.
how. So
And you spent up on your defense by a lot.
yeah,
What did you spend on your defense?
4,900.
Oh, well, that's what it is. 1,300 right there.
All right, fair enough. Well, when
That's almost
Seattle
that's
beats
like
the
$3,200.
when Seattle beats the shit out of Arizona and you're left with -3 points, don't come crying to me when Kansas City beats Carolina 35
Oh, and AJ
to
Brown
7.
has 35 points,
Then I'll cry myself to the bank. Thank you.
Congrats on me.
I ain't gonna come crying to you. I will be more than happy to do that. So, all right, extra long episode. It is Thursday. We're gonna pop off and get this game started. We will catch you on Monday. And as always, like, subscribe, and don't miss the last call for fantasy football. Deuces.